everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Jesus and Coffee Conversations. If you are joining for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have already checked out my introduction video and you are coming back to watch this video, welcome back and thank you so much. Alright, so I hope that everyone is ready. I hope you have your Bibles, your pens, your journals, and I hope you have your coffee. I have my cute little coffee mug. All you need is a love and a dog. Alright, I'm going to put this to the side here. And I do have my journal in front of me, so if you see me not looking down or anything like that, it's because I'm reading my notes because I don't want to leave anything out. So today I am actually going to be speaking or talking to you about one of the fruits of the Spirit. And there are actually 9 fruits of the Spirit, and they're found in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 through 24. I'm sorry, verse 22 through 23. And the 9 fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, self-control, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness. And again, you can find them in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 23. So the first fruit of the Spirit that I'm going to talk about today is going to be the fruit of the Spirit of love. And the dictionary defines love as an intense feeling of deep affection. And then there are synonyms for love that we use, and they are fondness, tenderness, warmth, intimacy, and endearment, just to name a few. Alright, so let's jump into the scriptures. So the Bible has so many scriptures about love. I have a couple of them here. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to tell you where to find them out, and then you can always go in your time with God and read those scriptures for yourself. So a few that I found are Leviticus chapter 19 verse 18, Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 5, Matthew chapter 5 verse 44, Ephesians chapter 4 verse 15, and 1 John chapter 4 verse 7. And I'm actually going to go ahead and read 1 John chapter 4 verse 7, and I got this out of the King James translation, and it reads, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God." And I'm also going to read verse 8. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. So basically what verse 8 is saying is that if you don't love other people, then you don't know God, because God is love and God loves everybody. He might not necessarily like or love the things that they do, but the person as a whole, he loves that person because he created each and every single one of us, flaws and all, and he loves each and every single one of us. So you can't say, I love me and I love my family, but I don't love this race of people. I don't love this type of person because they live this kind of lifestyle. Or, I'll love her, but I'm not going to love him. You can't do that. You have to love everybody. You might not agree with what they do. You might not like what they do, but the person as a whole, you should just love them and pray for them instead of criticizing and just, being mean to them and all of that. Because if you do that, then you don't know God, because God is love. And when Jesus walked this earth, he loves everyone. He might not agree with what they did, but he loves everyone. There wasn't a person that he, pushed away or didn't let come to him. So a point that I want to make is that in order for you to love others, you have to love yourself. There are so many people that are hurt and broken in this world, and they don't love themselves. And if they don't love themselves, then they don't know how to love somebody else. So if you're somebody that you're struggling with, loving yourself and loving who God made you to be, I have some points or some tips that can help you start to see yourself differently and start to see yourself the way that God sees you, and then you will start to feel good about yourself and love yourself, and then you have that love to show to others. So tip number 1 is to get in the Word. The Bible is your best friend. So you need to get in that Word. And you need to see what God says about you, because at the end of the day, what God says is the only thing that matters. I don't care what your mama said. I don't care what your daddy said, your friends, your brothers, whoever. What God says is the most important thing, and God has a lot to say about you. He says in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, you are created in his image, and God does not make junk. So if you are created in the image of God, that means that you I'm sorry, I can't get my words out. You are just like him. So remind yourself of that and say, when thoughts start to come to you and telling you that you're not going to be anything or you can't do something, say, no, I'm created in the image of God. God created this whole universe. I have the power to do the same thing. I can create and shape my world, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, and that's found in the book of Proverbs. I can't recall the exact chapter, but when I find it, I'll make sure I type it in the description box below. But yes, life and death are in the power of your tongue. What are you saying about yourself? Because what you say about yourself you're gonna hear it, and it's gonna start to shape your reality. And then in Psalm 139, verse 14, it says that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. In Matthew chapter 10:31, Jesus says that you're more valuable than sparrows. So if God, he loves all of his creation, but he said that you are more valuable than sparrows. That means out of all the birds, you are more valuable to him than they are. And he makes sure that the birds of the air are taken care of. How much more is he going to make sure that you're taken care of? All you have to do is ask him to help you and trust him that he'll do it. Tip number 2, to love yourself. You can work out, you eat right, make sure you get the sleep you need, and make sure that you are cutting off toxic everything. Toxic people, toxic relationships, toxic jobs, anything that causes harm to your body, physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally. Cut it off. And in 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33, it says, be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good morals. So if you're hanging around people that are toxic, they're saying you're never going to be nothing, you're never going to do nothing, they don't go to church, they don't even believe in God, they getting drunk all the time, they smoking, they doing drugs, they just doing a whole bunch of mess, you need to cut them people off, and you need to surround yourself with people that are saved and have a relationship with God, that will uplift you and encourage you and tell you what the word says. Because toxicity is bad for your health. If you've ever been around a negative person, and every time you ask them something, it's always negative, you can ask them, how are you doing today? And they're, my back sure has been bothering me, and my found out I lost my job, and woe is me. If you hang with people like that, and that's every time you ask them, that's how they sound, they don't have anything positive to say, nothing good to say, you don't need to hang around those kind of people, because it drains you. After you've been around a person for a while, you want to get away from them, because it's taking all your joy, and next thing you know, you mad at the world because you sat there and you listen to them and let that spirit rub off on you. So you need to cut them people out your life. You can love them from a distance, but the Bible didn't say they had to be right up under you and they had to be your best friend. You can say, I love you, but I'm going to love you from a distance, and I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to let God handle you. Because as for me and myself, I can't be around that. I can't have that kind of energy around me messing up my flow. All right, tip number 3, speak positive affirmations to yourself. As I said earlier, the more you hear something, the more it starts to become a part of you, and the more you start to believe it. So if you start saying, I am beautiful, or if you're a man, I am handsome, I am important, I do matter, I am the head and not the tail, I am above and not beneath, greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. If God is for me, who could be against me? If you start saying those kind of affirmations every single day, and even throughout the day, there are times where I'm at work and I have to just pull myself, in the office, or go to the bathroom, or go sit in my car for a couple of minutes just so I can regroup and I can start to say what the word says about me. If you keep doing that, you'll start to feel better about yourself. It lifts up your spirit so you can finish out your work day, and you just start to believe it. So those are some affirmations. And also, if you Google like positive affirmations or things, then they have like a whole list of stuff that can come up. But I do a little bit of both. Like sometimes I might Google and say those affirmations, but then I get stuff out of the word too. So you can do both, whatever, works for you. So, what are some ways that you can love others? How can you show love to others after you are loving on yourself and you're feeling great about yourself? You can show love to others by speaking kindly to them. Maybe somebody, they could be getting on your nerves. I don't know. But if they are, still try to be kind to them and speak kindly to them, and instead of saying, what you got to say now? Like, would you leave me alone? Instead of, getting like that. And I know that's something I struggle with too. I could be having an off day, or somebody is really getting on my nerves, and I'll be ready to, show my humanness. But I try not to, and I try to just, smile and still speak to them kindly. And if I have to excuse myself, I will. But just be kind to people. Forgive a wrong. If somebody has hurt you or offended you, forgive them. And you probably heard it, that forgiveness isn't for the person. Forgiveness is really for you. Because if you hold on to it, it starts to eat away at you. You are mad, you're angry, and it can make you sick physically. There are so many people that are sick right now because they are holding on to hurt and pain and something that somebody did 20 years ago. Because the person that offended you, number one, they probably don't even realize that they did because you never said anything, or maybe you did say anything and they just don't care. But you cannot hold on to that. You have got to let that go. Because that person is moved on. They are living their best life. They don't even remember what they did or said. So you just need to forgive them. Ask God to help you to forgive, and He will help you to forgive them. You can lend a helping hand. You can hold the door open for somebody. If you're at the grocery store and you see somebody struggling with their kids, or an elderly person trying to struggling with their groceries, ask them if they need help. If they say no, at least you offered. You can volunteer. There are so many volunteer opportunities. You have Habitats for Humanity. You have the Boys and Girls Club. You can volunteer at a nursing home. You can volunteer at a homeless shelter. You can volunteer like when schools have, events for the community and families. There's so many different things that you can do to get involved and just help out. Maybe 30 minutes to an hour. You can do it 1 or 2 days out of the week, whatever, you can fit into your schedule. You can smile, and you don't have to go around smiling and cheesing all day. But just, you're looking at somebody and they look at you. Just, hi, how are you? Just give them a nice smile and ask them how they're doing. Be appreciative. If somebody holds the door for you, or if somebody, gives you a compliment, say thank you. Instead, that there have been times that I've held the door open for people. I'm sorry, y'all, my dog. There have been times that I've held the door open for people. And, they don't say thank you, and they just walk on about their business. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't have to hold the door, like that can kind of mess up your mood, but you shouldn't let it. That's something that I'm also working on. But if somebody does something nice for you, say thank you. Say thank you. All right. Those are all the tips and things that I have for love. And, of course, if there's anything that I didn't cover that maybe you wanted me to cover about this topic of love, just leave me a comment below, and I will give you either a reply in the comments, or I will put the response in the next video. And the next video is going to be the second fruit of the Spirit, which is joy. So I hope that you all come back and you'll join me again. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and share. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you so much.